Welcome back. Breaking news this morning with the war in Iran and its nuclear facilities escalating overnight. The U.S. and the British are supporting Israel's action against the Iranian regime's efforts to build a nuclear bomb. This as the Senate moves debate and a vote on President Trump's big, beautiful bill to a week later. Fox News has learned that Senate Republicans will push debate and the floor vote from this week to the week of June 22nd. That is raising some questions on whether they will make their self-imposed July 4th deadline for passage of the big, beautiful bill. Joining me now with the view from the Senate is Senate Majority Whip and Wyoming Senator John Barrasso, who has a message to the Ayatollah Khomeini this morning. Senator, thanks very much for being here. What is your message?
Thank you, Maria. The message to the Ayatollah is the United States has troops, facilities, and civilians in the region. Do not attack them. That is our red line. If you go there, all bets are off. All the attacks against Iran right now have been conducted by Israel. To the Ayatollah, you have lost your military leadership. You have lost your nuclear scientists. You have lost lots of your weapons. President Trump offered you an opportunity to dismantle your nuclear program as you got closer to a nuclear weapon. You refused to do so. President Trump has been consistent for the last 10 years. Iran with a nuclear weapon is a direct threat to the United States, and we will not tolerate it.
What are the odds that the U.S. is forced to get involved in a wider war in the Middle East, sir?
Well, the president speaks for himself on this. The president has lots of options and incredible capacity. I talked yesterday with the Secretary of State to go over all of those things with Marco Rubio. The role we have played so far has just been in defense of Israel. There are 700,000 Americans in Israel today. Yeah. If the Ayatollah goes after our troops, our bases, or our civilians, that's the red line. All bets are off.
Understood, sir. Now, there is money in the big, beautiful bill for defense, among other priorities. Are you moving the debate and floor vote a week later? And what is behind that, sir?
Well, the idea is always to get this done by the 4th of July. Republicans are united and committed to provide safety and prosperity for the American people. So there are a lot of reasons we need to get this passed. And the number one that most people know about is we're trying to prevent this $4 trillion tax increase. It would be the largest tax increase in the history of our country. It would hit all hardworking American people. We cannot allow that to happen. The bill includes lots of popular things, including no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. All of the issues that are so important to people that the Democrats have left behind. We need to secure the border. There's money there for our ICE agents, for people who are on Border Patrol. And of course, after the last 4 years of American weakness abroad, we are rebuilding the military. So I am absolutely committed to the promises that we have made to get this passed so we can get prices down, get wages up, and bring jobs back to America, Maria.
Do you expect debate and the floor vote to take place the week of June 22nd?
The plan is to the week before the 4th of July to move to the floor in the United States Senate. We're still working on so much of the proposal. As you know, the government is too big and it spends too much. You've been talking for a long time on the program about how much money we're going to be able to cut from the bloated budgets that we have. And the Finance Committee on which I serve, you talked about we've been assigned the job of cutting $1 billion. We've already identified over $1 trillion in cuts. And it goes beyond waste, fraud, and abuse. There's a lot of corruption out there as well, Maria.
Yes.
Look, the state of California has set up a money laundering scheme, and the Biden administration was all on board with it. It siphoned lots and lots of money from the federal treasury into California to be used for health care, for Medicaid, for illegal immigrants. And, I was meeting with the Wyoming Mining Association. They are absolutely furious to see their tax dollars going for over 1.2 million illegal immigrants to get health care.
That's amazing.
There are things we need to do. There are 5 million people in this country, working-age men who ought to be working, but they're not, and they're getting food stamps, they're getting Medicaid. We need to have strict work requirements. That's why we need to get this bill passed soon so the hardworking taxpayers of this country get the benefits almost immediately.
These are such important points that you have just made, Senator. Real quick, you can only afford 3 no votes on this bill. I know that Rand Paul is complaining about raising the debt ceiling. He was with me last week. I know that Ron Johnson is complaining about the level of spending here. He was with me 2 weeks ago. Do you feel you have the votes to get this passed, or is it more than 3 people that are pushing back and saying they can't vote for it in this form?
As the majority whip, I listen to all of the members, listen closely. I am optimistic and confident that we will accomplish this for the American people, to make their lives better, to provide the safety and prosperity that they have voted for.
Okay. Senator, it's great to have you this morning. Always a pleasure. And we so appreciate all the very important points you made this morning on the success of this bill. Senator John Barrasso joining us.